So one of my favorite things to do as a musician is to orchestrate. I think it's a mix of gastronomy and architecture and choosing materials, the right combinations. And I got many opportunities to do that. One of these was a special one, was when Gerry Weil asked me to orchestrate one of his pieces. Now, Gerry Weil is a Venezuelan musician. Well, he was actually Austrian born, but he was more Venezuelan than anybody I know. He asked me to orchestrate one of his compositions for a recording that he was preparing. And of course, I was very honored and I got very excited because I thought he was going to commission one of his upbeat pieces like Caballito Frenado, which is an 11/8 and stuff like that. Great pieces he has. He's a great composer, a great artist, and an amazing educator who left an amazing contribution in Venezuela. Anyway, instead, he commissioned me to orchestrate a piece called Infancia, which is a slow tempo lullaby. So I started interviewing Jerry about what was his influence, inspiration, and he told me that this piece was composed for his granddaughter many years ago. And also, he told me that he was inspiring A Child Is Born, kind of like a jazz standard. So I took these elements, but I also believe that a great arranger needs to put his DNA, his input into arrangement. And one of the elements that is very present in my music, in my own compositions, and in my playing as a pianist is timing and different fields of timing and tempo and pulse. And I also describe my music in terms of like how I use rhythm, like when you open an analog watch and you have this big rotator that moves every hour, and then you have a smaller one that moves every minute, and then the smallest one that moves every second. Even though they're all moving in different pace, they're all coincide at the hour, right? And so I see pulse and rhythm in music a little bit like that. I want to share with you a little bit of what I did in the score of Infancia of Gerry Weil. It's a slow 3/4 piece, right? But the first instrument that comes in the arrangement and the orchestration is the solo clarinet, and it gives the sensation that it goes 4 times faster than the pulse of the piece. Body, dotty, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But another thing that I added is that it starts like in the end of one. So, dotty, dotty, combining this, I give the sensation of an elusive downbeat in the piece, and other instruments start coming in with the same effects. So it's kind of like the main tempo of the piece is kind of heated. The bassoon, which is the second instrument that comes together with the viola but doing different things, and the case of the bassoon is based on the bass pattern of the joropo, traditional style in Venezuela and Colombia. And the joropo in 6/8, the bass pattern plays the beats 2 and 3. It's a 6/8, but it's still written in 3/4, and the bass pattern goes like 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. The bassoon takes that rhythmic cell and goes with similar melodic material than the clarinet, something like do re do re do re do re, while the viola that comes at the same time does a longer phrase. The viola goes like and finally, the melody of Infancia, the beautiful melody of Infancia comes in bar 19 by oboe and flute. Of course, how not to give the melody to beautiful woodwinds? Check it out. So after all the exposition of the melody, of the theme, with all the orchestration and reharmonization, in bar 54 comes back to the intro. It's kind of like an interlude that precedes the B part. It's kind of like a different magical part, and I use a lot of harp and the piano as textures and piccolo. So everything in the piece right until now is in 3/4 binary. Every beat, 1, 2, 3, it's subdivided in two. That's what I mean with binary, right? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But in the interlude, I transition into ternary. And what I do is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I subdivide all these 9 beats because it's 3 by 3, 9 in a different group. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And I give that subdivision 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 in ternary to the alto flute, which is one of my favorite woodwind instruments ever. So one of the things that makes the change more drastic is that everything changed into ternary. Snare drums and percussion. That's helped to make a drastic transition from the first part of the piece into this. And in 129 and a few bars after, I use a little bit of quotes from different composers, and of course, one of my favorite Brahms, and the Lullaby song of Brahms. And I just use a little bit of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comment or question about it, please leave a comment on the YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be posting more of this type of videos. If you're interested in the score of Infancia, please send a message to my Instagram or Facebook account, which is Leo Blanco Music. Don't forget to share this with friends and any other musician you think would be interested on this. Thank you.